What's up, everybody? How you doing? Welcome back to the Punk Rock Review. Hanging out with the homies, dude. This is Carlos and Danica from PAVEWAY II, Roman numeral 2 at the end of that, which is something I just learned. So my apologies. I get all excited and I don't ask questions that I need to ask, and then I don't have the, I don't know. I don't know if required is the right word, but like the appropriate amount of information. I've done that many, many times in my career. So what's up, guys? How y'all doing?
I'm doing all right.
Good.
Yeah.
So we were talking recently, like we met fairly recently. We as far as like hanging out consistently.
Yeah.
Uh you guys are working on a musical project. I thought it would be kind of cool to get on here and talk about it. We've got some people involved with it that are we're all fans of.
Yeah.
And I don't know, when I have people that I like that are doing musical stuff, it's always something I try to do to get them on the platform and talk. So the project's wrapping up all the in studio stuff, correct?
The performance part's done. Everything's tracked. We're going into mixing, and I think everything should be final by Friday. And then I think it's going to be ready to drop sometime either middle of next week or the beginning of the week after that.
On digital.
Yeah.
Nice, nice. So how many songs are we doing here? Is this an EP, an LP?
You want to take this one?
It's an EP. It's 4 songs.
Yeah.
Okay. So is it okay? 4 songs. What are the length of the songs? Is this like 3 minute long songs? Are we talking like 6, 7 minute long songs?
Oh, like three
Yeah.
minutes.
So it's like a
Yeah.
proper EP then. Okay.
Yeah. Made it like a conscious effort to like try to keep everything between 2.5 to 3 minutes, absolute tops.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I mean, I'm a fan of short songs, so. So with this project, this is a new band. Okay. What were the I don't know, inspirations behind it? What made you want to start the band to begin with, more so than like the sounds that you've incorporated in the music? Like, what made you want to start this band? What was the, genesis of this project?
You want to? Okay. Well, we travel a lot to go to these shows and festivals and weekenders, and the main idea for the band, aside from like me needing like a creative outlet, was strictly just so we could try to get on some of these shows to see them for free and like hang out and play with all of our favorite bands. Aside from that, like the other inspiration behind the band was a lot of the stuff that's happening in France right now. We love it so much, but like we don't speak French, so we're like, oh, why don't we
Right.
do that but sing in English? And there's not a lot of bands stateside that are doing that kind of stuff.
That's true. That's true. Yes. So I have the privilege of hearing like one small portion of this recording, and uh, I don't know what I expected. I knew you had described this to me, but I was like, okay, cool, and I got all excited, and I was like, all right, play. I literally had to like stop what I was doing and like start it over because I was like, okay, hold on, I got to get in a different like lane for this. It's because I wanted to hear it. Well, first off, I was listening to it in headphones, and
Yeah.
whenever I hit play, I was like, oh no, I want this louder than that. So I came in my office and played it through my stereo because, well, I'm a dork and I have way too many options for like playing music. But yeah, dude, it's a very, very, I don't know if catchy is the right word. It makes you want to move, man. There's a lot more electronics in it than I was expecting, but I like it. Like as an example, there's new music by Bullshit Detector and Homefront that are heavily electronic right now. So
Yeah.
it's not as if it's a bad thing. I'm actually pretty excited about this. Yeah. So tell me a little bit about the inspirations behind the actual sounds in the project.
So the song that we sent you is actually like probably one of our more weirder songs. I sent Richard because he sings a verse on there from Bullshit Detector. I sent him like a handful, like a sample of different tracks that we were working on. And I told him that I was going to write one specifically for him to be on. And he was like, "No, I want to be on this one." And then I heard the release where Hard Luck Boys was on it, and I was like, "Oh, that makes sense. 100%. That's like kind of in the lane." But the inspiration was to take what Homefront's doing and what Beton Arme is doing, and kind of like put the two together. We're a little more harder edge than Homefront is, but we're definitely. I have a background in like hip hop production and DJing, so I was wanting to incorporate like all the digital drums and synthesizers and other things like that into, you know, making it new wave and oi and I don't know, dark wave, synth wave, whatever else is going on. There was kind of like no rules for that. But there's some stuff on the record that's a little more straightforward than what you heard, and then you know, where the guardrails are off as far as like where I'm trying to take it, but trying to keep it still within the scope of like punk and oi.
Okay, I think most of that's done via, you know, lyrical content and like who you're touring with and what labels you're with. So like, you know, I mean, as an example, would you tell me that La Tigre is not a punk band? Because I would argue that it is, right? So Devo's a punk band to me, and they got all kinds of weird sounds in their music. So I think having, like you said, the guardrails kind of taken down, take the, you know, remove the, whatever you want to call that, limits, and let you create whatever you want. You know, that makes sense to me.
For the longest time, and I'm sure like as long as I have, that like it wasn't okay to like anything else outside of this. And if you did, like people gave you so much shit for it. Like we're from Texas, and so like it wasn't any sort of weird thing for me to hear like DJ Screw tapes or anything along those lines, and then go to a punk show and then hear my friends pull up listening to 3 6 Mafia, and we're still like we're there to see the Unseen or the Casualties or whoever else, you know, like that was just the world I came up in. I know it's a little bit
Yeah,
different.
that's the exact opposite of what I came up in. You didn't listen to anything other than like punk or oi or post punk. Like it was just everything was very segregated in music back then. At least where I was. I was in Phoenix.
I mean, honestly, I'm from Houston, and I have more of a experience like what you're saying, Danica. It was like if you listen to, I mean, I can't tell you how many times I was given crap for like my record collection. They're like, what is this and this and this? And I don't, you know, I've been told that I have a narrow definition of punk even. So like, I don't agree with that, but like, I know that I also think like, you know, certain things aren't punk. At the end of the day, who really cares? I certainly don't actually care that much, but yeah, when I was younger, it was you'd listen to punk music and sometimes you'd listen to some oi because they kind of blend together a little bit. But I mean, I didn't even listen to like new wave or post punk back then. So
I did because I grew up in Southern California, so that was like the soundtrack in the '80s. So that was like the soundtrack of, you know, everybody skateboarding and surfing and just running amok. So I listened to that stuff too, and I didn't realize it till recently. But apparently, when I was really young, I was into goth. I didn't realize all the bands that I was listening to were goth until just recently. I'm like, oh shit, I was a little goth girl, and I never even realized it. So, yeah.
well, I mean, the music stuff. There's so many. The lines aren't hard straight lines. They're like squiggly blurred lines. So you could be like standing in a thing and be like, oh, I listen to punk, and then somebody come over and be like, actually, you know, all you really listen to is a bunch of garage rock. You probably like power pop more than punk. And they're like, what's power pop? Like, I mean, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, it's a really silly conversation while at the same time something that I'm very passionate about. So it's weird, man. Very conflicting.
I don't know. I mean, I caught shit from some of the like the diehards or whatever, but I'm like you, where like when people ask me what kind of music I like, I'm like, oh well, I like punk, and they're like, what kind? I'm like, the punk rock, like all of it. I mean, there's not too much underneath the umbrella that I don't particularly care for. Like maybe some of the like crusty D beat stuff I'm not crazy about, and like some of the like really like top 40 pop punk shit I'm not into. But for the most part, like all the 77 stuff, all the pogo street punk stuff, power pop,
You like egg punk?
the egg punk that's coming out now, I like too.
Me too.
It can get a little zany for my taste, but like for the most part, it slaps. But like and like new wave, post punk, all that stuff, within and all the, I wouldn't even say all the oi either. Like I really like the melodic oi and like the British stuff. Some of the American stuff, like the singers, like the vocals, kind of like turn me off. Like it sounds like Cookie Monster, but like, I mean, like it's still good. It's just not like my favorite, and I don't really care for psychobilly all that much. But
I think our tastes.
it's not bad. It's not bad. It's just not my thing.
Our tastes are pretty similar. Pretty similar. I like egg punk a lot, and the zanier the better, kind of. But I also, dude, the American Oi thing that you were saying, like, I don't mean any disrespect to anybody, man, but I fully agree with that. Like, why aren't they doing more melodic sounds? Like, let's see. I don't mean to sound super biased, but like Liberty and Justice and Bullshit Detector are two of the better bands out of the American scene.
Yeah.
And they have incredible diversity in their sounds. Like, so like I don't know. I hear the skill levels there, man. I hear it. I can hear them, and I'm listening to them play it. I'm like, you intentionally made this kind of archaic, didn't you? They're like, yeah, I like it like that.
A lot of those bands, like, musically are like fantastic.
Yeah.
Right.
There's some really good American Oi bands from like the 90s that, I mean, to this day are still like, melodic and as good as anything else. But like, there's only so many like American flags and like animals wearing boots and braces that you just be like, okay, we've done this before. That's why I'm excited about all the stuff that's happening right now, because I feel like it's the spirit of that old Oi scene, but they're pushing the culture forward.
Yeah, I agree with that. And let me be very clear to anybody's watching. I've never claimed to be or behaved as a skinhead. I am a punk rock guy. I just happen to have a lot of friends in both sects of this punk rock thing. So like, I don't know as much is my point. So like, I'm not acting like I do. I just hear music and go, man, I think you could have done this a little better. I hear that there's the talent there, and it's a, choice to make, but it's also like, there's punk bands that we listen to that do the same thing, man. I was just talking about this with Nitty last night, that you have two albums of about the same quality of musicians, but one is so much better because they went, well, at least this was his perspective more so than mine. I liked both albums about the same, but like, where one was like better because it was so much more diverse. And my only point is that I thought it had higher highs and lower lows, but the other album was a little more consistent. So they're like equally as good to me for that reason. But I hear it and go, man, you could have done something crazier with your record. But some people want like a straightforward, almost, for lack of a better word, generic sound.
Even when it comes to like certain punk rock bands, like the cultures bring out of like the ability that do it. So there's bands that like by all metrics are fucking terrible bands, but their music is so fun that like it doesn't matter, like, and it's same thing goes with Oi. Like there's this band from New York. They've been around since the 80s. They've never toured anywhere. Like I just found out about them back in January, and they're called American Eagle, and they're basically like a cartoon character Oi band. Like it is the most ridiculous thing you've ever seen, but it's terrible, but I love it. Like it's just like whack like that.
Well, I don't.
You remember Sergeant old WWF?
Yes.
So their singer like dresses like that with like the green tank top and the army pants and the aviator sunglasses, and then they play behind like in front of like a giant like American flag. And like their t-shirts have like a bald eagle wearing like a bomber jacket and boots and braces, like it, and they're dead serious. That's like the thing that's crazy about it, is that they're dead serious, but like everybody that sees it is just like, this is way over the top. Like,
yeah, unfortunately, maybe 30 years ago, I probably would have rocked something like that. But the way things are now, man, I kind of have to be like, I think I'm not wearing that shirt, dude. But I am definitely intrigued. I can tell you that. Like that sounds ridiculous. So I should have started the conversation off with this. So what parts do each of you guys, and I'm asking you this for the audience's benefit more so than mine, obviously, but what do you guys do in this group? What positions do you hold?
I'll let you start.
I do like the MPC and all the electronic stuff, and sing and write lyrics and melodies.
And then I basically write lyrics, and I play everything from the bass, the guitars, the drum machine, synthesizers, all that stuff. Like I'm kind of like the brainchild. And then when we play live, she controls all the electronic stuff. And then we're looking for a full-time roster, but we're not like really sweating it, because we have like people in place who are, if they're available to play, will play shows with us. But right now, like we're the two hard-fixed members of this group.
Okay.
But if we form like Voltron, I'm like the head of it. Like it all lives in here.
Okay. Okay, that's. I know you guys, so I kind of already knew that's what you were going to say for the most part. Um, so how can we speak on the person that helped you guys record this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so how did you guys tell me what's going on? Who is this person we're talking about, and how did you contact him and get him involved?
Brian Izzy Bullard is his name. He just goes by Izzy to everybody. He's at, what is it called?
Blueprint
Blueprint.
Multimedia Studios or whatever, or like you probably find him on 122 Recordings. But he used to be the sound guy at a bar here in Phoenix, at a couple bars here that have punk shows, and he runs his own studio and he does like corporate sound and all that stuff for like conventions. But he's a super talented dude. He's worked with a bunch of acts in the area, and he's a great guy. He's really funny, kind of a space case, but good old Chicago boy.
And that's the engineer, right?
Yeah.
What about who's playing drums with y'all in this recording?
Chip Hanna.
The Chip Hanna is on this one. One Man Army, TSOL, of course, bombs, and the list goes on and on and on. It was kind of surreal working with him. Obviously, like we paid him, so it's not like he did it because he loves us or anything like that. But he showed up to the studio like super prepared, like humming our song, and I was just like, I can't believe I'm hearing him do this. But I mean, he was a sweet dude. Real thick Southern accent, real happy, lucky guy. But I got to sit down and chit chat with him about some of the things in between takes, confirming some rumors I've heard over the years about the U.S. bombs and like One Man Army and all this stuff. But aside from that, like it was kind of weird because there were moments where he wasn't playing exactly like what I was hearing in my head or even what was on the demos. And I was like, hey, can you do it this way? And it just like felt so wrong to tell Chip Hanna what to do. Like, we're just like, I guess I'm paying him. I should probably get some sort of like input on it. But he was a great guy.
Dude, that blows my mind that you did that. I definitely would have been like, I think he's probably right. I wasn't there, so I don't know what the sounds were. And I wasn't in your head, so I don't know the differences. But
yeah, I'm looking at the engineer, and like they work together. Like Izzy gets a lot of work for Chip whenever he's not touring, and so and Chip is also in a band called the Impossible Ones with the guy who played guitar on this record,
Neil Ward.
Local legend. They're like basically like the Toy Dolls if they were American. Super good band. I highly recommend you checking them out. They're called the Impossible Ones from Phoenix. And he's got like a Celtic punk band too called Swain with 2 N's. They rip too.
Yeah.
But yeah, so like they all know each other, and we're like the outliers, the little outcasts in this group. And I'm like, he's not playing it the way I had it in mind. And they're like, tell him to fix it. And I was like, you tell him to fix it.
that's how I would have reacted. I'm not telling him that. You tell him that. And it's not out of no like rock star nothing, bro. I just have respect for people. So I'd be like, I don't want to do that. I don't, bro.
Oh, he was so cool about it. Like
He's awesome.
honestly,
He's a
like
nice
like
guy.
super nice guy.
I mean, I would be surprised if he wasn't. I was just laughing because I didn't expect you to say that. I was like, wow. Like, I don't know that I mean, I don't have the courage to do that. Like, just in general, dude, I talk with a lot of bands, even bands I'm like really good friends with that I'm putting out records for. I still have to be like, all right, dude, they're not going to get mad. Just tell them this. Like, they probably would like to know what you're thinking. And so that's more or less why I'm laughing because I've been in that position before. That's funny. So what are the goals? Obviously, you want to get this released. I would assume play live shows and then do a physical release, or do you guys not care about any of that, or what's going on?
I mean, I would love to do a physical release. Touring is going to be a little bit hard because we both have families and careers and whatnot. So we were hoping this to be mostly like a weekender sort of festival thing. We're not opposed to going on short little runs that are like a week long, but I mean, you know it as well as we do that being away from your family is just like hard,
Mm-hmm.
you know. Plus, I've been doing this most of my life. So being all over the place, I've kind of had my time with that. And now I just kind of want to like, have my little fun and then go back to my regular life.
Yeah, I think the way music is done now is a little different anyways. So I think weekend like runs and week-long runs, it's kind of the standard now, especially for punk bands. Nobody in a punk band's making a living off of it. So they're having, I mean, think of like the biggest punk band that we like right now. You think the dudes in Homefront are making a living? Because I don't think they are. And that band's pretty big. So,
I know that do. The Casualties. That's the only band that I know that do.
and they're
They've been-
constantly.
Yeah.
So, it's not surprising that you guys wouldn't want to hit 3-4 week situations. It's hard to do. It costs a lot of money. I would say you're going to lose money doing that, so if you're trying to just have a project, it makes sense. See what the digital feedback is that you get, What's the social media presence looking like yet? Is it something that's bubbling under the surface, fixing to come out and play?
Actually, we went live with everything yesterday when we dropped the single. So the Bandcamp is up. It's paveway2.bandcamp.com. The Instagram is up, PAVEWAY II official. Aside from that, we're probably going to start the YouTube channel soon for when we start making videos and putting out the audio only versions of the songs up on YouTube. But aside from that, we got to make a TikTok. I'm like, that's the one I'm dreading the most. Like, how are you finding TikTok to work out? Like, do you like it?
I don't use it.
There you go.
Yeah, I don't.
So let me tell you guys a little, very quick, short story. I had a legitimate viral video. It was almost 4 million views, like within like 2 days. Like it was big. And I was this is on TikTok, mind you, and I was already an affiliated partner on TikTok, and I got like 46 cents out of it. Now, I don't do this for the money because that's ludicrous. I don't make enough money doing this for that to be my reason. But the things that I do cost money for the channel, like traveling to go to a venue and I'm going to Austin this weekend for high vis and bullshit detector. That's not free. I got to go to gas isn't free, the lodging, the food, none of it's free. So,
That one.
Do what?
It's too bad you're not going to the Denton show because I'm going to that one.
Dude, where the hell is Denton?
It's like 45 minutes north of Dallas.
Yeah, bro, that's so far.
University of North Texas is. That's where I went.
Oh, okay. But like, I mean, all this stuff costs money, man. Doing my camera costs money, my additional camera, my GoPro, the memory cards, the battery packs, the shoulder harness, the new bag when I need to carry, like, it's just money. So my only point is that if I have a video that gets 4 million views and I can't make at least a couple grand off that to fund the next, 6 months of making videos, I'm not going to be on that platform. So, it is a problematic video anyways for me because it caused a lot of local drama that I didn't even do anything wrong. So do what?
The horror movie story.
This is that when I had beef with freaking, what's his face? The Michael Jackson wannabe, Corey Feldman. Dude. So, all right. So for anybody that doesn't know what happened, I was a vendor at a horror movie thing, and I was just filming stuff because that's what I do. And Corey Feldman shows up with his band of merry misfits, and they go and they start sound checking. And I was like, "Oh crap! It really is Corey Feldman. That's cool." And so later that evening, when they start playing their set, it was slow at this point. It was the evening. I've been there all day, so I walked over to film some of it, and dude, I still have the footage. It's so funny because I'm walking up and there's like 125 people there. Like there's not many people. And so I clipped something immediately and put it up like, hey, we're out in Katy. There's like 125 people here. Freaking Corey Feldman's here. Where's everybody at? It was a little cheeky, I was poking a little fun, but I was actually being like, yo, where's everybody at? What I didn't know is that like an hour before that, Corey Feldman had taken some very strategically placed photographs and been like, hey, we're in Katy fixing to go live. There's thousands of people here. Come hang out. He thought that I saw that and decided to like attack him, which is bonkers to think I would do that in the first place. And it just caused a lot of trouble. But that video, he reposted it, and then it got reposted again, and then again and again. And I went to bed, it had like 500 views. I woke up the next day, it had like 500,000. It was like, I was like, ah! I went from, dude, it was crazy.
That's nuts.
Yeah. That guy sucks.
Yeah, he does.
I still
He's
I still see him every time he comes to Arizona. He usually comes every October, and I never miss it because like I wanted to see if he was gonna like crash out and freak out. And the first time I was like, you know what? Worst case scenario, he does a good job. I was like, best case scenario, he fucking has a meltdown, and then I get my money's worth. And so like the first time, he actually did a really good job. I was wildly impressed. And then the second time I saw him, which was last year, his drummer started early on one of the songs, and he just like started over, like started freaking out. And I'm just like, ah, yes, this is what I came for. So no, don't sleep on Corey Feldman.
I mean, yeah. I don't even know how to respond to that other than like,
Yeah.
you know, I believe you. That guy's, he's a lot. Like, I don't know what that dude's deal is.
Him
Like-
and
No, my friend, one of my best friends, we were talking about him in a group one time, and she's like, yeah, I met him once, and I didn't really even meet him. She took her kids to Disneyland, and they were on the tram at 9 a.m., and he was passed out in a hooker's lap on the tram at Disneyland at 9 a.m. And my friend was like, I knew there was a story there. I just didn't really feel up to asking for it. He's a hot mess.
Yeah.
Yeah, look, dude, and I'm compassionate and empathetic to his like past, but he like at this point, he's like shoveling it on himself and then complaining, and I'm like, bro, it's
Yeah, I think he has some paranoia issues. Like you said, that he thought that you did it on purpose or whatever. Like, who would think that?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
well,
Corey Feldman.
I know. Time to plot against Corey.
we should make a movie. The plot against Corey. Well, like, I get it, dude. He had a rough childhood, but like, I don't understand, like, being problematic and then blaming everybody that, like, saying like, "Hey, you did this to me," and it's like, me? I don't even know. Like, I didn't know him. I wasn't following him. They could have checked that very easily. Is this dude even following us? Because I had no idea he posted those photos. But it caused problems with the promoter who I'd known for a long time. The venue banned me for life. Like, it's
Oh my
yeah,
God.
dude.
Corey Feldman.
Yeah. Shout out Wildcatters in Katy. It's a fake biker bar full of racist meth addicts, bro. Like, it's cool. I don't want to go there anyways. Like, but
Yeah, that place sucks.
Yeah. Screw that place.
you're like, I think I've never been there, but I heard it sucks real bad.
Just hang out at there.
I'm trying to not say too much stuff that's going to get me in trouble on a social media platform right now because, boy, I tell you, it's the pressure is on. It's like I could feel everything just like barely staying together, and I'm like, look, I just want to have a good day today. I don't really want civil war to break out, but like, oh man,
Get too uppity about very minor things,
Yeah.
especially nowadays.
So, what are some of the fests and such that you guys are looking forward to potentially being a part of, and like what's that look like? What are some of the ones you're interested in?
So I know one of our homies who is involved with Crash Fest wants to bring us out next year. Your boy Jorge from New York. I talked to him briefly when we were in New York just recently about possibly doing next year, and he looked at me and was like, you know my contact info, so hopefully I can hook that one up. Our friend Sarah put us to this 2,000 tons of TNT Fest that just got announced that it was going to happen next year in Boston at the Middle East. It's going to be like a bunch of like oi bands and hardcore bands, and like the Middle East is like a super like famous venue for that sort of thing. And I guess they were doing this festival for a while and then stopped, and this is the first year they're bringing it back, which is in 2026. I'm hoping to jump on that. Outside of that, it would be cool to do the Weekender in Houston next winter. Or I don't know why they call it winter. It's in November, which is the fall, but we're not gonna argue semantics here. But
I mean, in Houston, we don't really get a winter, so we're like, what's the last quarter? November? Yeah, let's just call it the winter weekender. Like, I will certainly be wearing shorts and a t-shirt at that. So yeah.
we have like pool parties in December out
Yeah.
there. So
We have like two seasons, winter, summer. That's it.
Dude, and summer's like 9-10 months out of the year.
Yeah. Yeah. So.
like nice right now, and it's like still like in the upper 90s. And I'm like, no, not shitty does not mean it's nice.
Dude, that's a real thing. It doesn't mean it's nice because it's not like giving you a sunburn immediately when you walk out the door. Like, that just means you're not in any immediate danger of getting skin cancer.
It's like what you experienced in Vegas, but without
yeah, with none of the wind.
with none of the wind.
So I do what?
Clouds, just straight blue sky and sun, no clouds. Yeah, it's horrific.
Yeah.
I think that the winter weekender is a likelihood. I think that on the streets again is a pretty strong likelihood. Yeah, it sounds like you got some smart picks, like ones that would fit, and you know, for a band that doesn't necessarily have a lot of experience at the moment, people that would be open to giving you an opportunity. I think that's smart. We want to play main stage punk rock bowling next year. I'm like, whoa, interesting take. Like,
that would be.
Although, you know, we do, don't we? Right? That's the dream.
That is the dream. I would love to play Rebellion. I would like to do all the fun ones in like Croatia and play in Japan and do all that. But you know, one thing at a time. We're not there yet.
You guys gonna shoot some music videos?
Yeah.
Yeah. I actually need to reach out to see if he'll come out here for it, but hopefully, we can get him to be in the video because this is like our lead single off this record. But the plan was, since we're not going to be touring so heavily, that we're going to have videos to accompany most of the songs that we release. Just even if it's something nice and easy to make. I figure the more there is for people to interact with, the less they need to like see us in person, and the more they're going to be willing to travel to see us. You know, when we do come through a specific area.
I think it means that they'll probably purchase more merch as well. So like if you can get, you know, a couple of good shirt designs and a physical, even if it's like a CD or a tape, just something that you can sell and take that money and put that money into a pot so that you can use that money to travel to a weekend event or a show. You know, that's exactly how I do it all. So I would assume that's what a band does as well. But if you get into a situation where you need some visual stuff from Richard or something, and he just can't make it out there or something like that, or y'all can't make it here, whatever, let me know. I can probably help with that. I can get something filmed, even if it's just like some stuff in an alley with him singing a part and then get it edited up, or even just send you raw footage. Dude, just let me know. You know, keep me posted.
Yeah, that'd be a big help.
Yeah, dude. I'll tell you what, that song, when I heard it, I was enjoying it. And then also, I had forgotten that you told me, Richard. I didn't realize that hadn't forgotten that he was going to be on the release. I didn't realize that that was the song he was going to be on. So when I'm listening to it, I'm all da 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 da. All of a sudden, he starts barking at me, and I'm like, "What is this, bro?" I'm excited for this to get out to the world. Is this the one that's up online right now?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right now. And like I said, the record should be out middle to end of next week, or like the beginning of the week after that.
Okay, I'm gonna link all this stuff in the description for people that are interested in it. I'm gonna probably add the song to the playlist list for the next couple of weeks. Is that cool with you?
Totally.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, dude. I mean, I think that first off, I like to have music that's a little coloring outside the lines. I get bored kind of easily, and you know, when you're doing a live stream, you want to have as much different stuff as you can.
Yeah.
So we got a little time if you guys still have time. I would love to hear kind of maybe a little y'all's personal background. How did each of you guys find punk rock, and specifically Oi? I mean, you guys are part of the, skinhead community more so than I am.
Well, you go first on this one.
I grew up in LA till I was like 13 in a beach town, and I was always around like old skate punk, type of stuff like that. But it never really grabbed me. I was into, I was young when I lived there, so I was into like Depeche Mode, The Cure, The Smiths, stuff like that, Dramarama, things like that. And then I moved to Phoenix when I was 13 and started hanging out with the bad crowd. And just first I was at a friend's house and we were in her basement, and I had been listening to stuff like Guns N' Roses and shit like that. And we were in her basement and she put on Nevermind the Bollocks and she put on Bodies, and that was it. I was done. That was it. And ever since then, it was just always punk. And the Oi just kind of came with it, with the guys that I hung out with and the people that I knew. Like, it just sort of all came together.
Dude, are you of the experience that when you were younger, you didn't realize they were different?
I think I realized they were different than the other people that I had known in like my previous part of my life, but I didn't realize what the hell I was getting into.
Like specifically with like Oi and punk, I'd always seen imagery of like a skin and a punk dude arm in arm, and like they had like, you'd always saw them kind of in pairs. So I didn't understand when I was young that there was like a definitive difference in like culture, even kind of, right? Like I didn't know that. And so I'm like, Agnostic Front's one of my favorite bands, and then I really like H2O a lot, and I really like Dropkick Murphys, but I also love Pennywise and NoFX and Rancid, and even like bands below that rung on the or deeper down the iceberg. I liked a lot of stuff, and I was probably 20 before I really understood like, oh, there's a big difference. And it probably was because of hardcore, even because like bands like H2O, I didn't realize that a hardcore band, what's a hardcore band? Like it just sounded like punk to me.
I still with him all the time. I'm like, what is this considered? Because there's so many different factions of what kind of music that we listen to. And they come up with new names for different genres all the time. I can't keep up.
Nor should you try.
I know. I'm like, I just like what I like.
Especially with like hardcore now, like it seems like a lot of the bands that I like from the hardcore scene are like hardcore bands that don't quote unquote play hardcore, like High Viz. Like they're technically a hardcore band, but if you listen to them, they sound like they're like post punk or like even like goth at times, with like you sprinkle the backbone of like a hardcore beat. But you watch their shows on YouTube and people are like walking on top of each other and beating the shit out of each other like a hardcore show. So I'm like, this is weird.
That's very weird. I definitely didn't consider them a hardcore band. I don't have a lot of experience with that band either. I'm just dipping my toe in, and I'm going up to support the homies in Bullshit Detector. Do what?
Their like earlier stuff is a little more straightforward hardcore than like where it went. It's like the same thing with like Turnstile. Like what they're playing now, I guess like the diehards wouldn't consider hardcore, but their earlier stuff was. Yeah.
I mean, there's something to be said for diversity in your music. I'm not really tripping. I don't particularly care for Turnstile much, but like, whatever. I mean, they've got some songs that I like. I just like to poke at people. Turnstile's the greatest. I'm like, they're terrible. That's not really actually how I feel.
They're like, this walks on water.
They're really good live, though. Super good live. I don't but they're good live.
Like, what's that band? Drug Church, dude. I can't stand that band live, but their music's like not bad. But that guy's like, do what?
I was like, I'm out of the loop on that one. I don't know who Drug Church is.
Oh, they're big, dude. Like you would probably like them actually. Like, but seeing them live, the guy has this weird thing he does where he holds the mic like kind of far from his face, but he's real tall and kind of skinny, and just the way he moves his body is just kind of goofy to me. And he's always smiling real big, like he's just stoked. And I'm like, I get that, but I'm grumpy and I can't handle if you're happy all the time. It just bothers me.
What are you smiling about? We're never going to be able to afford a home. Like, what's going on here?
Only Monkey can get away with that.
But yeah. So, Carlos, how'd you get into punk rock?
So when I moved to Texas, I came from overseas by way of like New York. I was really into skateboarding and doing graffiti, and so when I got to Texas, all the skater kids were like listening to like punk and ska. And then just me having a Caribbean background, I always grew up listening to reggae. And they're like, oh, well, if you like reggae, you should listen to ska. And then I was like, this is cool. And then I started like kicking it with some punks and going to like these local shows. And what I liked about it was like kind of like just like the look of it, that it was like so jarring, because you know in North Texas like everybody fits a mold, whether like you're like your suburban like soccer type regular bro dude, or you have like, you know, your Latin dudes who are like very much like either like cholos or like paisas or whatever. And then like everybody kind of fit within their own little stereotype. And then there was like these kids that like didn't give a shit about any of it, and they like skateboarding, and they like doing graffiti, and like they like hip hop music to some degree. And I was like, yeah, dude, this is my jam right here. And then as far as Oi, when I started going to shows at the Red Blood Club in Dallas, I was hanging out with my friend Jax, rest in peace to him. But I saw like some skinhead dudes, and I was like, yo, is that what I think it is? And he's like, no, it's not like that. And then I come to find out that like a lot of the skins that were going to the shows at that time, like most of them weren't even white. So I was like, oh, it's not like a racist thing. We did have like problems with certain crews in the area that were trying to push that shit, but they didn't last very long, you know. And just even within Texas, like punks and skins in Dallas were always like super united. But then when I moved to San Antonio, like it was oil and water. Like punks and skins hated each other, and that's when I learned we were not the same. You know, like, I was like, oh wow, it is different.
That's how it was in Houston. Punks and skins did not hang out. Like, and that's how, again, I was, once I got out of high school and went and lived in like a punk house, I realized, oh, there's a big difference here. So like I said, I was like, you know, probably 20 before I really started understanding things, even though I had a couple of friends on both sides of that, man. I had a couple of skinhead friends, you know, I mean, I think it's funny that we constantly have to explain to people that skinhead culture is not racism, because people just listen to what the movies have said. And they don't take into account that there's this thing called the internet. You could just Google it. Bro, you don't even have to Google it. You could be lazier than that. You could just chat GPT it. It'll tell you what the deal is.
There's a store called Barnes and Noble.
Right.
It's called what?
Barnes and Noble.
Barnes and Noble.
Barnes and Noble.
Bro, I was like, what? But like, you know, it's always a thing, man. Like when people come into my record store, dude, like probably once every couple of weeks, I have to like have a discussion with somebody that says something like off color about skinhead culture, because they'll see like I have like a section that's like oi music, and they're like, what's this? And I'll tell them like, oh, you know, this is all like street punk stuff, and that's like skinhead stuff over there. Well, you sell skinhead stuff here? I'm like, good grief, dude. Yes, I did not use that other word. Okay, I said skinhead. Like it comes from a black culture. And they're like, no, I don't know. I'm like, dude, no, you don't. So shut up, please.
Like, I don't believe you. I'm like, you don't have to. You can like go to YouTube and type in skinhead documentary, and like chances are you're gonna see fucking Don Lutz's black face telling you about reggae and skinhead culture and the punks in the 70s. Like, you don't have to listen to it from us. Like, you can take it directly from the source themselves, you know? Like, it's wild.
It's you know what it is? It's because they don't actually want to know. The general public wants to be divisive.
They want to react.
Yeah. Here's something. I got a good question before we get out of here. This is actually something that would help a lot of people. You know more about this than I do. I know a little bit about ska and a little bit about reggae, but I don't know a ton. So what's the difference between like skinhead, was it skinhead reggae, and then like you have like two-tone skinhead reggae and ska, and you also have just like straight up reggae. Can you give me some basic differences between the genres?
Okay, so the rundown is that like ska was first and foremost. It was ska, and then when it came to England in the mid to late 60s, the checkerboard, the black and white, was like a symbol of like the black kids and the working class white kids coming together to dance these records. And so like the Rude Boys from Jamaica and the poor working class whites started imitating each other. So that's where like the skinhead fashion came from. And so between ska and reggae was like Boss, which is like your traditional skinhead reggae. And then you had the reggae. Well, before reggae was rocksteady, which was slowed down ska, and they blamed that like on a particularly hot summer in Jamaica. And then that was like sort of the influence to what became known as reggae, and that was Toots and the Maytals, and then later on Bob Marley and the Wailers and all that. And then throughout the 70s, you have like the different offshoots within reggae, like dub and early dance hall, roots, and then I'm pretty sure I'm missing one. But yeah, basically that's it. So like the pipeline starts with ska, and then goes into like skinhead reggae and rocksteady, and then full blown reggae, and then that evolves into what is modernly known as like, you know, roots reggae, dance hall, and all that other stuff.
Yeah, because I mean, I'll argue with people, not like viciously or anything, just like talking about like, I don't consider bands like Less Than Jake a ska band. Like they're just like a pop punk band with horns, and they're like, no, they're a ska band. I'm like, not really. Like,
Oh, now that you reminded me, the two-tone thing happened in the 70s during the skinhead and like ska revival of the late 70s. So like right at the same time, like in between punk and what happened as new wave was two-tone, at least in the UK. And that's when you have the bands like Specials, and a lot of that they were covering the original wave of ska records. And then the third wave is what you have now with like Less Than Jake and all those bands.
I would say that we're even into a fourth wave of it. You know, there's a whole nother generation of ska punk bands out there, but I just don't consider them ska really. Like Mustard Plug, I consider them a ska band because they have a lot of slower songs and they have ska chords, and I think in every song that they have, and that's a main thing to me. Like if you don't, you can have horns all day. I don't really matter, man. There's a lot of ska bands that don't have horns. You have to have ska chords, like a lot. Like I wouldn't consider Rancid a ska band, even though they've got multiple ska songs, but like. Yeah, and it's again, it's semantics. It's arguing just to argue, I guess. But
Yeah.
At this point, like they're their own thing.
right. Well, there's like other bands that imitate them now. Like there's like a Rancid sound, like, and it is a derivative of the Clash. You know, so give me some examples of some of those styles of bands. Like, what would you consider? Tell me like a couple of like skinhead reggae bands or artists, whatever. Maybe a couple of ska and a couple of. I don't know, just name a couple of bands that just so, because it'll help people that are listening to this when they're going through and listening to music. Because I do think it's important because they're all come from different backgrounds.
Okay. So as far as like original skinhead reggae bands, I would say there's so many of them, and like all the names kind of run together because they have weird like English Caribbean names that like it's like some weird. It sounds like a British cartoon character. But like Judge Dredd is one. Cimarip, he was the godfather of skinhead reggae. That's Roy Ellis. He still tours to this day, and he's got to be like pushing 80 and still just
good.
out there fucking moon stomping. Anything that came out on like Trojan Records before 1972 is widely considered to be skinhead reggae classics. As far as more modern skinhead reggae bands, you got the Aggrolites, the Debonaires. I'm drawing a big fat blank. I did not prepare for this.
Yeah, sorry, I kind of dropped that in your lap. Did anybody's wondering? I didn't tell him I was going to ask him that. I just asked him because I was thinking about it.
As far as like ska bands, rocksteady bands, rest in peace to Dan from the Frighteners.
Oh.
Check them out. Rest in peace, Greg Lee from Hepcat, Slackers, Westbound Train's another really good one.
Ooh, Westbound Train's awesome.
Trying to think of the Blue Beat Stompers from San Francisco. If you're looking for something a little more two-tone, the Hub City Stompers from Jersey. They also have like a weird 80s ska cover band called Rude Boy George. That's a lot of fun.
That's awesome.
I'm trying to think who else is really good right now.
You ever heard that band Soul Radix? They're not. I don't think they're around anymore. But
no, I haven't.
Oh, dude, it's got a lady singer. Her name's Danny Raddick, dude. That band was awesome.
Oh, more like traditional rocksteady from Mexico. You have the Traveler All Stars, or something like that. The Overlines from Monterrey. Um, if you're into dub, the International Dub Ambassadors from Puerto Rico, they're really good. If you're into like ska punk, like Chicano, like sort of like Cholo East LA kind of sounds, there's Viernes Trece from East LA. They're like ska punk, but like more two tone heavy. The Escapers from Las Vegas, they're pretty good.
Dude, that's a lot of bands, bro.
He's like a musical encyclopedia. It's ridiculous.
Well, that's what, I mean, I talked to you enough to know. That's why I asked. I figured you'd be able to come up with a list of stuff, but there's a few bands out there that I really like that are pretty small, but most of the bands you named, I probably know about half of them. Like, there's a bunch I didn't know. Judge Dredd's really good. I knew that group.
Super silly, inappropriate. Oh, Prince Buster. How could we forget?
Oh yeah, dude. I like Hepcat a lot too. And then I also have my little boy, the first music he ever really heard and like reacted to was the Slackers.
Nice.
Like, yeah, ever. He was like, dude, he might have been maybe a year old, not even. And we had a freeze and it knocked out our electricity and we were real cold, but I had my office in the old house. And as soon as the lights came back on, the first thing I wanted to do was listen to some music. So I had him and I didn't know he was awake. I thought he was asleep. So I walked in the office and I turned on the Slackers real quick. As soon as that stylus hit that record, man, started playing, he like picked his little head up and started kind of like doing like this. Like as soon as he turned it off, he kind of like wasn't really stoked. And I was like, oh, dude, he likes music. To this day, man, he's almost 5 and he still jams with me all the time, bro.
My son's not into music at all. It sucks.
Oh, dude, how old is he?
17.
He's not into music at all?
He's a gamer.
That's my guy too. My 12-year-old.
Yeah. Breaks my heart. I tried.
Does he like has he played that game Silk Song?
Yeah.
Hollow Knight?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah? Dude,
I know
that's awesome.
Is the Hollow Knight the same thing?
Yeah.
Yeah. I know he's done
that. Yeah, I don't know anything about video games.
Dude, I said Hollow Knight and my 12-year-old came running in the room. What's up, dude?
Hi.
Dude, well, man, I'm excited about your release. This is probably the first time y'all have done a little podcast like this, huh?
This is an absolute first for everything. So
that's awesome. Man, I appreciate y'all's time. I'm very excited about this. We'll talk a little bit more privately with some more things that are just between us, detail oriented stuff. But if y'all need me for anything, if we can figure out a way to like link up and help with anything, I got camera stuff. I got, getting pretty good at editing. So
I really appreciate you, like, even wanting to look out for these two little guys right here, because like we're nobody right now. So,
Bro, I'm nobody either, man. This is a community. We've got a little platform building, and I feel like the whole point is to do this. Like, yeah, dude, talking to the Cox Bar dudes is great, but if I can't talk to them and then go talk to a smaller band, I just turn into the people we don't like. So, we use the guys, we go, ooh, we all want to hear from them. We get the crowd, and then we go, oh, guys, also, this exists. That's what it is, man. It's how it works. I think everybody knows that. We all appreciate it. So I'm just glad you're willing to talk, and I'm glad you're willing to just open up your music for the community. And, but anything else you want to say before we get out here? Any bands you want to shout out? Any kind of stuff you need to talk about?
I want to shout out Split System if people haven't heard of them yet. That's like my jam.
Shout out to Split System in Australia.
So good, dude.
So good.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Give me like, you already gave me one, so give me 2 more. Give me 3 bands y'all are listening to right now that are like modern bands.
Bad Turn Army, Skinhead, Bullshit Detector. Who else are we listening to a lot?
Liberty and Justice.
Liberty and Justice, of course.
Oh, Spiritual Cramp.
Spiritual Cramp is really good. Yeah.
That band's awesome.
Yeah, they are.
The Rose Garden Funeral Party I've been listening to a lot.
Yeah.
They're like a post-punk sort of like dark wave band from Dallas with a girl singer. They're really good. Who else am I listening to? Urban Heat.
Okay.
They're from Austin. Another like post-punk band, like black dudes. Really, really cool stuff if you're into like The Cure. I'm just like into all sorts of synthesizer stuff lately because that's
Yeah,
just...
you are.
Oh, shout out to Sex Max from San Antonio.
Yeah, they're good.
They're really good too.
Who is it?
Max,
I don't know them.
they're really good.
Oh, you need to get on that.
Yeah, they're really good.
Sex Max. It's like egg punk, but they're really good.
That
like,
name is awesome.
Yeah.
I know.
Well, it's like weird because I was like, all right, they have to be from Texas because nobody would name their band that if they weren't. And then I Googled them and they're from San Antonio, and I was like, oh, that makes even more sense. Like,
It really does.
it's just like one guy who plays drums and he like records everything himself and like plays it all live.
Oh, that's awesome.
They're a lot of fun.
All right.
Just listen to music. Listen to new music.
100% listen to new music. There's a dude. Go. I'm gonna be that guy. Go to my Bandcamp. I've got tons of new music within the last couple of years that I've put out. Just go listen to it and then find those bands and support them monetarily. Like whatever you can do to give them your money, that's what you should do.
Oh, and shout out April from Generation Exit.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I don't know why you're saying that, but yes, shout out April from Generation Exit. I love April. She's awesome.
People, shout out Manny from Concrete Elite too. You know, I'm just I hate the fact that I don't live in Texas anymore, so I just want to show all the love to all the Texas stuff. Yeah.
It does suck that you're not down here. Let me ask you real quick before we go. I've tried to figure this out and I can't. What's up with that band Skinhead? Like why do you listen to them?
Oh, they're so good.
It's awful music.
It's
Actually, let me be incredibly like specific with my gripes. The music itself, like the guitar, drum, bass, production,
Yeah.
awesome. That vocalist, dude, what is he? What are we doing?
It's rough. You have to get used to it.
So the way,
Dude, that's the most honest answer that anybody has given me, man. I appreciate that because that just means maybe I won't, right? But people are like, no, it's brilliant, Andy.
when I first found them, I was like, this is weird, sort of like spoken word over like oi that's mixed with a sort of Midwest emo guitar. And I'm like, this is a lot for my brain to handle. And then like you listen to the lyrics and it's just like over the top, super violent, super knuckle draggy, like tough guy shit. And I was like, I don't know. And then my friends were like, oh, it's all a joke. And I was like, that makes sense. And they're like, if you're offended by it when somebody says it's a joke, you're the one they're laughing at. And so that's when it clicked in my brain where I'm like, okay. And the newer stuff obviously is a little more palatable and more structured as far as the songs go. It wasn't so abstract like the first release was. And I don't know. It is an acquired taste, but at first I was like, what is this? Turn it off. Like,
That's how I was.
Right.
It took me a long minute to like them, but I love them now.
Yeah.
Okay, so the reason I ask is because like whenever there's a band that I really dislike and everybody else likes them a lot, it bothers me a bit. I'm always like, okay, dude, what am I missing here? But I've over the past
When you're having this argument, like,
do what?
I was like, are you talking to skinheads when you're having this argument? Because I feel like most people would not like this band. You know,
Yeah.
like it is normal to feel this way.
So a couple of people that I've talked to are skinheads. A couple are hardcore kids.
Okay.
The Haywire scene really seems to like them a lot. But I don't think that it's because they like their music. I think it's because the Haywire guys are like, hey, you should like this. And then these kids are like, okay. And but I've also come to the realization that like there's just going to be big popular like movement type bands that I just don't resonate with, and it's okay. You know, I still to this day cannot listen to Husker Du. Like I just don't like their music, and it's weird too because it's always one little thing about the music I don't like because like overall Husker Du stuff is stuff I generally like, and the same with Skinhead. Generally, they got sounds that I enjoy. It's like the vocalist I don't care for, and then it's like with Husker Du, it's like all the overlapping white noise I don't like. So I am picky.
Would Husker don't?
Husker don't. Have you seen the Punk Rock Review shirt in the Husker Du font with the little U's and stuff?
No.
Does it say Husker don't?
I wish it did. It just says punk rock review, but it's in the same font with a little crack through it with the U's with the yeah. But dude, Husker Don't is I chant that, bro. Dude, shout out Bob Mold, shout out Skinhead. Yeah, dude, you guys are awesome. Thank you for your time. I appreciate it. Let's keep in touch. We'll talk business stuff at another time.
Yeah, absolutely. Salud.
Hell yeah. Let's go. All right, everybody. Have a great day. You know the rules, man. Hit that link. Follow this band. Check out their music. Stay in touch with us, and we'll keep you posted. All right. Everybody have a great day. Peace.